I don't know why, but I have the overwhelming urge to only pronounce this band as Mamamoo! And it's probably not pronounced like that, is it? Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sam Scott-Thorne and I am a vocal coach based in Glasgow. Now, if you'd like to meet and explore your voice a little more, you can find me on sstvocals.com. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook and Patreon, and I'll put the handles down below and over there, over there. It was kind of dark. Anyway, if you'd like to consider becoming a patron, you have access to things like early release of reactions, you can fast track reactions, become a reaction, there's special roles on my Discord server, and you have access to my Patreon exclusive Vocal Anatomy 101 videos, which tells you how to use your voice more efficiently. So consider becoming a patron and help shape my channel. Okay, this is a long one coming. This is a K-pop group, a girl K-pop group called Mamamoo or Mamamoo. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I don't know any of the members. I've never listened to them before. So this is going to be an experience. Now, this link was dropped to me. It's their best vocal moments. So I'm probably going to hear little bits of different songs. So let's just go ahead and see what we can hear. Nice. Okay. I think I probably should have concentrated because that was them saying their names and I didn't pick up one of them. Oops. Okay. So first of all, that little intro of them all coming in, I couldn't see anyone's faces, but the tone that was coming through was really aspirate. So that is more air passing through the folds than normal. If you want to get into that sound, add a big H in front of everything. Ha, 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 ha. And that air will kind of lead rather than the tone leading. It gives you a really lovely, delicate sound, very misty, very airy, very kind of gentle sounding, and it really suited the kind of modulation that they were going for there. Very, very nice. As for the little intro part there that I just saw, there wasn't enough for me to go on. I couldn't make head nor tail of it. They just seem like a fun group, so let's keep going. Okay, right, so this is a much thicker sound than they're producing than the first clip that I heard. They're in a thicker fold, so there's two levels of closure. The folds are closing at the top and the bottom, and the air is having to work harder to get through, so you get a thicker sound. Ah! That thinner sound would be ah. Hopefully you can hear the difference in projection there. So if they can thicken up and thin out really, really well and really consistently, then they're going to have a lot of vocal technique to work with. So I'm excited. Let's keep going. Okay, I don't know if this clip's over, but I need to stop. So the first girl that was singing, she was really mixing up the tone. She was thickening up, she was thinning out, and then she was adding an aspirate tone when and where she wanted it. So you're getting real variety with that voice. It's really special. Very, very well controlled. The other two were very, very thick sounding. It was that really heavy projected sound. You feel like it's just a force that's coming at you when people sing with really thick folds. But the last one I really, really enjoyed when she hit that big note. That jaw just flew down. Really nice, really open. That allows a bigger resonant sound to come through because there's more space for it to work within. And I reckon she's in a belt because the larynx sounds kind of high. I reckon her cricoid cartilage is rocking back to make more space under the folds for air. And then that'll come out and make a much bigger sound. That was really nice.
네 생각에 따끔거려도 이젠 잘 참아볼
Okay, and for the last one there, to take something from such a heavy place and thin it out to really delicate sound so smoothly was a master stroke. Very, very nice. I might not say that's falsetto, I'd maybe say that's still head voice. Difference being that falsetto, your folds are in a stiff position, they're held apart, so the air is constantly escaping the fold and there's no chance of them thickening up because there's that space at the back. Whereas head voice, they are together, but you can make that sound breathy. So a difference would be a falsetto, head voice, and I can add a little bit of air into there. They sound very similar, but they're different because I can thicken up on the head voice. I can't thicken up on the falsetto. So I hope that made sense. Danger, we don't know we ain't going down. But I have to say, Milky Bucky got me melting. Sugar we take it chic all the while. Do you think and don't be speaking? Not don't let it dairy, dairy, feel it dairy. Turn it up and I go, 'cause I won't need you no more. No, your play's fine, but I ain't got the time. Won't you hurry up? Yeah, hurry up, hurry up. Yeah, I don't know what. Okay, first of all, that is a song by Stushy. They were amazing. What happened to Stushy? Justice for Stushy. I'm just gonna say it. Black Heart, amazing song. Anyway, so we've heard a couple of wee excerpts there. They are just amazing at belting. They've got such strong, powerful voices. But that last one there showed me something about the way they work together. Now, if you go back and listen to it, the ones that are taking the main line, they will start to twang up. So they're producing that twang using their epiglottis. They're bringing that over. It creates a tiny little chamber above the vocal folds and makes that air much more pointed. You get a much more pingy kind of sound. Is it in its most like pure annoying form. But if you mix it into singing, then you'll just get a really projected sound out of there. The other ones will fall out of that twangy place to allow the main one to take the focus. But then as they come in with their main line, then the other ones will take the twang off. So it's really interesting that they're actually using their voices in a way that is allowing one to take focus and the other ones are falling into this harmonic kind of support role, if you will. They're not out to kind of fight against each other for the limelight. They're actually helping one another and projecting that forward sound of the main one. Really, really good. That is the mark of a good vocal unit. Okay, so first off, the blonde one at the end kind of really jumped out at me. The little licks of that really soft energy and that like boomy sound was really something. If you can use a really light voice to change the direction of something that's like pretty full on, in my opinion, and you can still stand out, then that's the mark of a good voice for me. Very, very cool. Then she kind of went into this like really heavily textured kind of place. A little bit of a growl came out. They're starting to show that they can riff and they can run. They use a lot of twang, which we were talking about earlier, the epiglottis, making that right bright, singy, pingy, ringy sound. And when they're all in doing that together, it can get a little bit intense. Like I was really considering having to turn my headphones down because it's really, really loud to me. And there is a reason for that. When we employ oral twang, it creates a resonant frequency between 2 and 4 kilohertz, which is the resonant frequency of the ear canal. So it literally will sound louder than it is. It's an intense sound to take on. So when 3 or 4 of them are doing it at the same time, in that kind of high place, my whole brain is just scrambled. So they're smashing though, amazing.
Ali, all swing, let's groove, sing it. All swing, let's groove, my baby. All swing, let's groove. We are Mamamoo.
Mamamoo.
Telling you my own. 이 음악의 끝은 내게로 더 피아노맨.
I like that. It kind of sounded a little bit like there might have been a track in there. It just seemed like there was a lot of voices for the 4 of them to be doing at the same time. Either that or they've got like some kind of layering effect on their vocal. I don't know. Either way, I love the fact that they're all scooping together. That's one note to the other note and you blend. Now, if you're scooping with other people, you've got to make sure that you're all in sync and that slide is happening at the same time. Otherwise, it could be an absolute mess, like a relay race going from one note to the other. So they obviously work really, really well together in order to make that really slick and yeah, amazing.
괜찮다면 박수 한번 쳐주세요.
A lot of work here going into lowering the larynx to make that tone a little bit darker, a little bit richer, more velvety. If you pull your larynx down, that makes it sound a lot more dramatic. If I kept it on the same note on a mid, it'd be here it's a lot brighter. So by just dropping your larynx a touch, that makes that sound a lot richer, darker, smokier, I feel like. I like the fact that it's almost like they've all got a little bit of ingredients of Christina Aguilera. Like one does a lot of hey, and then another one's got a really bright pingy sound on top of that. One was making her arytenoids rattle. They are, for want of a better term, the things that open and close your vocal folds. So if you rattle them together, it goes huh. So you get that huh, kind of Christina Aguilera sound, that real kind of gritty, bubbly growl sound. It was great, really nice. She raps too.
외롭진 않을 텐데
So when they're actually harmonizing together, they're hitting the recipe almost so exact that you can almost hear like a third tone coming through that. It just goes to show that that twangy sound that one is doing is almost exactly the same as the other one is doing. So with such a perfect match, you can actually start to play with frequencies there. I bet if they all made that sound, they could start to get polyphonic overtones coming through there. That would just be for play, obviously, not for real while we're on stage. But something to explore. I bet they could do that. I bet you. Now I feel like it's geared up that the one in the yellow, the one that belts quite a lot, is maybe the one that takes all the big moments, or is maybe a bit of the focus, or at least the video is kind of directing me in that general direction. But the one that's jumping out at me the most is, in this particular clip, is the one in the teal suit. I think she's the one that's mixing in all these lower tones. She has got a beautiful voice. It's so balanced, very enjoyable to listen to, and it sounds strong, but not like in your face. It's a noise that I want to gravitate towards rather than be like blown away by. And also the one in the white suit's like a bit of a dark horse, quite quiet in the corner. I want to hear more from her. Is that the one that growls? I don't know, I'm trying to keep up as best I can. But yeah, teal suit is one to watch for me anyway. Oh, it's gorgeous. That riff was absolutely beautiful. It was almost like a kind of a staggered vibrato. So not a vibrato from tilting your thyroid cartilage, which would give you but almost like you're opening and closing your folds really quickly. Like that sound, if you like. And then she's running that sound up and down a set of notes. So you get a really kind of specific, abrupt little shift. Really, really nice. That's like proficient to the extreme. That's not an easy thing to do. So much technique in this video! Oh, it's driving me nuts. So, that mouth shape in action. If you want to get a more rounder, kind of forward sound, purse your lips. Brighter sound, spread your lips. It really changes the dynamic. A lot of people don't take into consideration how important moving your mouth is when you sing. It's become very popular nowadays to sing with like a really chill kind of movement to the absolute minimum. But if you really want to drive these vowels forward, then you need to kind of exaggerate that mouth shape.
sugar daddy. He's my daddy, my daddy. Can't know what the make me this happy. He gives me cheesy like a kitty in a candy store. Goody, 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 and I beg it for more. Daddy, 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 I got me your sugar daddy, 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 daddy. Yeah, yeah!
That was amazing. So that's a real a cappella thing. No microphones, no nothing, just a phone, I think that's recorded on. Sounds amazing though. Their harmonies are so tight. You can hear a little bit more what each individual one's character is. So I think Teal Suit was the first one that sang. You can hear her dropping her larynx a wee touch to get that darker sound at the end of her phrase. Then the belty one, she took almost the exact same phrase, but you could hear it was just a little bit more lifted, so that larynx is a little bit higher, making the sound a wee bit brighter. The quiet one in the corner, she was quite low. She's got quite a deep kind of tone to her voice, and it's very kind of abrupt and kind of dug in, if you like. And then the one on the end is like the really, really airy, breathy, falsetto-y sound. Ha, ha, ha. It almost sounds like she's kind of struggling to control that sound, but it's for effect. It's a proper like tone technique. She's got a really, really sweet, angelic kind of sound to her voice, and I think that's the one that I was saying that it kind of draws you in rather than blows you away. So each of these little kind of vocal footprints or fingerprints, if you like, are adding into this like one unit of sound, which is really interesting to listen to. I prefer it when they're like this and showing off their kind of individual tones rather than when they all get up into this really kind of twangy belty place. But that's just my personal kind of preference. That's the kind of stuff I like to listen to, is as varied as we can possibly get. They're so good.
지혜를 써가며 널 그리워 하고 싶지 않던 내 맘은 널 이대로 보내고 싶어 이대로 흘러가겠어 네가 조금은 덜 아프길 바래 내 맘과 같기를 난 바랄게 I want you to be okay
Yeah.
생각보다 괜찮아 내 맘이 괜찮아 정말 날 아플 줄 알았는데 생각보다 괜찮아 참 아이러니해 이게 아닌데 좋았었는데 사랑했는데
That little wave was because my neighbour just passed and I seen him. It's embarrassing. Anyway, I would challenge the veracity that this last clip that we watched was live. I'm not sure that it was, just because it sounds super compressed. Sounds like they've been in a vocal booth to record that. It's hard to explain, but if you do lots of studio work, you'll know there's like a difference in sound to like a controlled recording rather than something that's in an ambient space. Also, the first one that was in the tartan jacket, her voice sounded like it had an effect on it, which would be a saturation and filter. So essentially you push that sound so it's almost too saturated. It's like overloads the signal, and then you cut the top and the bottom of the signal off. So the wave file is like, or the wave signal even, is like one column rather than it being wavy. I might have to put up pictures so that you know what I mean. But anyway, but regardless, that kind of means that they know what effects work on their voice as well. I really, really like the one with the gentle voice. She's really sticking out for me just now. That was incredibly heavy on the belt. Like, they're all so good at belting. I find it remarkable how consistent they can keep these notes. They're not tilting on anything, so they're keeping their thyroid cartilage vertical, which gives you that straight tone. Anymore, would be tilting, you'd get that vibrato and you get that kind of wobble on the sound. But they're just going da like a laser. It's crazy how consistently they can keep their pitch on there. Wow. The two in the middle, this double belt harmony thing seems to be a really common theme with their songs, and they kill it every single time. It's wild. Wild how consistent that sound is. My goodness. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, I've just paused it again. That is so hard to do. Keeping your folds open to let that air through. Just try doing that. Try making a tone but holding your folds completely open, quite low for her as well. That's hard. That's hard. Props. Wow. Bonus clips. That was funny. I like that last little riff. They're obviously not adverse to kind of just having a laugh with their voices, and when their voices are that amazing, but they're willing to play, that just, yeah, chef's kiss. So I feel like that was quite a good introduction to them. So thank you for posting that link. And if there's any particular ones that jumped out at you that you want me to listen to, then let me know and we'll focus on that individual track. I really liked the slow one that was kind of heavy on the emotion. I Miss You, I think it might have been called, possibly. But I'll leave it to you guys to choose, eh? So if you like that reaction, please give it a like and a thumbs up down below. And if you want to see more from me, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and anytime I have new content, you will be the first to know. So I guess all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for joining me. And how are we going to buy this one? There's so much going on that I don't know. I could just do anything, couldn't I? So I guess all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for joining me. And don't forget to like and subscribe. There was too much going on in there and all of it sounded terrible on me, not them, just so we're clear, just so you don't give me stuff in the comments that's not very nice, but you know, I hope you don't do that anyway. Bye.